The land of ginseng, South Korea. South Korea, officially known as the Republic of Korea, is a country located in East Asia. Here is a brief history of South Korea. Early history. The Korean Peninsula has a long and rich history dating back thousands of years. The first Korean kingdom, Gojoseon, was founded in 2333 BC. Subsequent kingdoms emerged, including Goguryeo, Baekje, and Silla. Japanese colonization in 1910. Japanese annexed Korea and ruled the country as a colony for 35 years. During this time, Koreans were forced to adopt Japanese culture and language, and many were conscripted into the Japanese military. Independence. On August 15, 1945, Japan surrendered to the Allied powers and Korea was liberated from Japanese colonial rule. However, the Korean Peninsula was divided into two zones of occupation, with the Soviet Union controlling the north and the United States controlling the south. Korean War. In 1950, North Korea invaded South Korea, triggering a 3-year war that ended in a stalemate. The two Koreas remain divided to this day, with the demilitarized zone (DMZ) separating them. Head of state. Since its founding in 1948, South Korea has been led by a president. The current president, as May 10, 2022, is Yoon Suk Yeol. Flag. The South Korean flag, also known as the Taegukgi, features a white background with a red and blue yin-yang symbol in the center. The four black trigrams surrounding the yin-yang symbol represent the elements of nature: heaven, earth, fire, and water. National anthem. The South Korean national anthem is called Aegukga, which translates to patriotic songs. The lyrics were written by poet Yoon Ji-ho in 1907, and the music was composed by An Ek-tae in 1935. Today, South Korea is a thriving democracy with a strong economy and a rich cultural heritage. Here are some fun facts about South Korea. First one, South Korea is known as the land of the morning calm because of its beautiful sunrises and tranquil scenery. The second one, South Korea is one of the most wired countries in the world, with the highest number of broadband internet users per capita. Third one, South Koreans celebrate two New Year's days, January 1st and the Lunar New Year, which falls in late January or early February. The fourth one, South Korea has a national holiday dedicated to couples called Pepero Day. It is celebrated on November 11th and involves giving and exchanging boxes of pepero, a popular Korean snack. The fifth one, South Korea is famous for its love of spicy food, with dishes such as kimchi, bulgogi, and bibimbap featuring prominently in Korean cuisine. The sixth one, I think, is the most popular thing. South Korea is home to some of the world's most popular music and entertainment, including K-pop music and Korean dramas, which have gained global popularity in recent years. And the seventh one, South Korea has a unique drinking culture that includes a lot of group drinking and drinking games such as Sam and Anju. The eighth one, South Korea is a leader in technology and innovation, with companies such as Samsung, LG, and Hyundai among its biggest exports. The last one, South Korea is also home to some of the world's most beautiful natural landscapes, including Jeju Island, the Soraksan National Park, and the Hyundai Beach. South Korea has a tradition of jjimjilbangs, which are public bathhouses that feature hot tubs, saunas, and various other amenities, and are popular among locals and tourists alike.
The South Korean language is called and widely known as Hangugo or Hangul, and one official language is spoken there with 5 different dialects. Some other commonly popular spoken language in South Korea are English and Japanese. History of the Korean language. The earliest forms of the language have likely existed since the Stone Age. However, the specific history of the language remains a mystery. Some claim that the various groups of people occupying the Korean peninsula eventually become one, forming a single language. This likely happened during the unification period in the 6th to 14th centuries. And in the 15th century, the modern Korean language we all know was formed. The language used to be written with Chinese characters, which was one of the many writing systems used for representing Korean sounds. However, the Chinese characters couldn't precisely describe the sounds of the Korean language. During the reign of King Sejong, the Korean writing system called Hangul, which was called initially Minjokun, was complete. Hangul is the writing system that best encapsulates the sound of the Korean language. The 5 different dialects. First, the Gyeonggi dialect. The Gyeonggi dialect is the most popular of the rest of the dialects, and it is the basis on which the standard variant of Korean is formed. Second, the Jeju dialect. The Jeju dialect is used in South Korea's Jeju province, and it is different from the Korean dialects used on the mainland. Third, the Gyeongsang dialects. The Gyeongsang dialects are used by communities in the Yeongnam region. Some of these dialects are tonal unlike standard Korean. Fourth, the Chola dialect. The Chola dialect is mainly used in South Korea's Honam region, including the Gwangju region. And last, fifth, the Chungjeong dialects. The Chungjeong dialects are used in the Chungjeong region and Daejeon city. Hi, my name is Macherlea. The system of government in South Korea is a pluralistic, democratic, and presidential system. The president is elected by popular vote every 5 years for one term only. The president appoints the prime minister and has the right to release him from his duties. First, executive branch. The executive branch is led by the president, who is the only publicly elected member of this branch. Elections are held every 5 years to select a new president, and each president can serve only one 5-year term. After the president has taken office, the president appoints a prime minister, who must be approved by the National Assembly. The president also appoints ministers for all of the 18 ministries in the country. Second, the legislative branch. The legislative branch of the Republic of Korea consists of a National Assembly of 300 members. National Assembly elections are held every 4 years, where each party has a politician representing them in each constituency. Once elected, a member serves a 4-year term. Of the 300 seats in the Assembly, only 253 are given to publicly elected politicians, while the remaining 47 are distributed amongst politicians through a party-list proportional representation. In other words, the 47 seats are distributed to the parties based on the percentage of votes they receive in the party-list vote. Last, judiciary branch. The judiciary branch in the Republic of Korea can really be divided into these ones: the Supreme Court, the High Court, the District and Branch Courts, and Specialist Courts. The Republic of Korea also uses a three-instance trial system, thus allowing for people to appeal court decisions in the order: the District Courts, the High Courts, and the Supreme Court.
The education system. The Korean public education structure is divided into 3 parts: 6 years of primary school known as Choryang-hagyo, followed by 3 years of middle school known as Jung-hagyo, and then 3 years of high school known as Gujang-hagyo. In 1996, only about 5% of Korea's high schools were coeducational. The proportion of coeducational schools has increased by almost 10%. However, classes in many coeducational high schools are still divided along gender lines. The curriculum is standardized, so now both boys and girls study technology and domestic science. The primary curriculum consists of 9 principal subjects: moral education, Korean language, social studies, mathematics, science, physical education, music, fine arts, and practical arts. English language instruction now begins in the 3rd grade, so that children can start learning English in a relaxed atmosphere through conversational exchange, rather than through rote learning of grammatical rules, as is still the practice in many middle and high schools. The major objectives, as stated in a 1996 background report by the Ministry of Education, are to improve basic abilities, skill and attitudes, to develop language ability and civic morality needed to live in society, to increase the spirit of cooperation, to foster basic arithmetic skills and scientific observation skills, and to promote the understanding of healthy life and the harmonious development of body and mind. The 7th annual curriculum, which began implementation in March 2000, keep these basic goals but update many elements to reflect changes in Korean society. Upon completion of primary schools, students advance to middle school, which comprises grades 7 through 9. The curriculum consists of 12 basic or required subject, electives, and extracurricular activities. While elementary school instructors teach all subjects, middle school teachers, like their college in the United States, are content specialists. High school are divided into academic and vocational schools. In 1995, some 62% of students were enrolled in academic high schools and 38% in vocational high schools. A small number attend specialist high school concentrating in science, the art, foreign languages, and other specialist fields. This is still the case. The aims of education at the high school level are stated as to foster each student's personality and ability needed to preserve and strengthen the backbone of the nation, to develop students' knowledge and skill to prepare them for jobs needed in society. To promote each student's autonomy, emotional development, and critical thinking abilities to be brought to bear in and out of school, and to improve physical strength and foster a sound mind. The academic year in Korea lasts from March until February. The first term lasts 5 months, March to July, and is followed by a month of summer holidays. The second term starts in September and ends in February, with a 1.5-month winter break starting at mid-December and ending late January. The time a student spends at school depends on what school level they are in. Primary school people start at 8 o'clock and finish around 30 o'clock. Middle and high schoolers stay in school a little longer, from 8 o'clock to around 6:30. Most days for middle and high school students consist of 7 classes. Still, that does not mean that students head home right after the lessons are over. Many children go to after-school academies, called Hagwon. These after-school academies are attended by most students. Here, middle and high schools focus on academics while primary school students can choose between academics, arts, or sports subjects. Hagwons can also be made mandatory by the school a student is attending, even though these schools are not free. When it comes to academics, typically the emphasis at Hagwon is on mathematics and Korean and English languages. Other subjects include physical and social science. For middle and high schoolers, classes at Hagwon start at 17 until finished.
Religion in South Korea. South Korea is a country where all the world's major religions, Christianity, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Islam peacefully coexist with shamanism. According to the 2050 statistic, 44% of South Korea identify with religions. Among them, Buddhism and Confucianism have been more influential than any others upon the life of the Korean people, and over half of the country's culture heritage is related to the two religions. Since Buddhism arrived in Korea in 372, tens of thousands of temples have been built across the country. Adopted as the state ideology of the Joseon dynasty, Confucianism is more of a code of ethical conduct that emphasizes the importance of loyalty, filial piety, and ancestor worship. Based on the concept of Confucianism, the Joseon dynasty established a code of conduct that settled the manners and customs of the people's life. It stresses the importance of Chang, the loyalty of subjects to their king, Hyo, filial, the obedience of children to their parents, and Yo, that is between the husband and the wife. Catholicism was introduced to Korea during the late Joseon dynasty, period by diplomats who returned from China and Catholic priests who were invited by the Korean Christians. The early Roman Catholics in Korea were subjected to severe persecution, but the religion continued to spread among the common people across the country. Through the persecution, many Christians were married by the rules at the time, which led Korea to yield the world's largest number of Christian saints. Protestantism was brought to Korea during the late Joseon dynasty period and quickly won people's hearts through school education and medical service. Even today, Protestants in South Korea operate a great number of educational institutions, middle and high school, colleges and universities, and medical centers. In addition to this, there are a rich array of native religions such as Chendeogyo, Won Buddhism, and Taejongyo, which are still active in increasing the number of there at the range. Chendogyo, founded on the basis of the Eastern Learning Donghak of the 90th country, maintained the doctrine that man is heaven, which exerts a strong influence upon the process of modernization in Korea. Daejongyo was established in the early 20th country lordship Dang-un, the founder of the first Korean state. In 1955, the Korean Muslim Society was first established, which elected the first Korean Imam, Islamic leader, later growing large enough to become the Korean Muslim Federation in 1967. Still, shamanism has also played an important part of the daily life of the Korean people. Some believe shaman can predict their future, or they can console the spirit of the deceased. Others visit fortune tellers when they start a business or get married.
International relations between South Korea and Indonesia. South Korea and Indonesia have a strong international partnership that dates back to the 1970s. The two countries have formed a mutually beneficial relationship, with South Korea investing in Indonesia infrastructure development in Indonesia, providing South Korea with natural resources. Diplomatic ties between the two countries were established in 1973, and since then, both countries have collaborated on various initiatives and trade agreements. In 2006, South Korea and Indonesia signed a free trade agreement which has increased bilateral trade and promoted economic cooperation between the two nations. South Korea pop culture has gained immense popularity in Indonesia, with Korean dramas, music, and movies being widely consumed in the country. Likewise, Indonesia's rich and diverse cultural heritage has attracted significant interest among South Korean tourists. The two countries also cooperate in international organizations such as the United Nations and ASEAN. Both countries share a common interest in promoting regional peace and stability and have worked towards this common goal through their involvement in various international peacekeeping missions. Overall, South Korea and Indonesia have a vibrant and robust international partnership built on mutual respect and trust. The two countries continue to strengthen their relationship for the benefit of their citizens and the wider region. Thank you.